All right, all right. Yo, yo, yo. What's up, everybody? Derek Lambert. I tried to do this live last 3-4 days ago and have it on Facebook and on YouTube, and it was successful today. I figured out how to do it. Thanks to my buddy Richie Weber, who's been doing the StreamYard for a minute. And of course, I got to give a shout out to my girl Nicole, Real Talk Recovery. She been doing this for a while. I didn't know how to do lives. Now I know how to bring you guys on with me so you can come hang out with us. Today, as you can see in the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about that rat park thing. That rat park is, kind of what we're all going through right now. We're all inside, right? We're social distancing. And if y'all watch that video, we're going to go into that video here soon. There's another cool cartoon one. But if you guys have seen the rat park experiment, they always tell you that the isolated rat in a cage by itself, what's it always do? Go right back to the heroin, right back to the cocaine, right back to the benzodiazepine, right back to whatever your vice is. And sure enough, it dies. It's self-destructs. It can't help but self-destruct. And so we're going to go into that today. I'm going to bring on one of my boys. And listen, today you guys are going to get to join. You guys can jump on. We're going to be bringing people. Look, don't be afraid. If you are, I understand. I'm just saying you're going to hang out with us. There's nothing to be afraid of. I had a friend call me earlier. He just needed to talk to someone, and he relapsed. He was ashamed, and he was really ashamed for his relapse. And he said, Derek, I just need to talk to you. Do you have any advice? I said, scratch that, man. Scratch the whole, did I slip? Did I relapse? Did I this? Your house is burning right now. Get the fire extinguisher. Who cares? Are you going to worry about the neighbor when the neighbor's looking at your house burning down? Are you worried about what they think about your house burning down? Hell no. Get the fire extinguisher, save your life, save your family. That's all that matters. You know what I mean? So before we get started, anyone who's on Facebook, definitely on Facebook, share it out. Like this, comment, of course, what your thoughts are. I see your guys' comments. Hey, what's up, Nicole? My Benzo Hell, Ryan, Dad, Ghost Dragon, that's Dad. Claire, what's up? Ryan, you guys will be able to join me. Deanie, I hope I pronounced that correct, from Germany. Wow. All right, guys, I'm bringing on Richie Weber. He's going to join me first. What's up, brother?
How's it going, man?
It's going, man. It's going. Yeah, how are you doing in all this?
Oh, just adapting, doing the online meetings. That's been helping a lot. Otherwise, I probably would have went stir crazy by now. Normally I'm traveling all over, speaking places, and just been stuck in one place for the last couple of weeks. So
we're all a bunch of rats, like seriously though, that rat cage experiment applies right now. It really does. Social distancing is demanded. Like they're requiring us to distance ourselves, and we as humans are meant to connect. So we're going to talk about some connections and the importance of that. That video that you actually sent to me, that's something we need to pull up. But before we do you have anything you'd like to share?
Yeah. So, you guys will see it in a second on the video, but basically what the video shows is, have you guys heard of the experiment where they put a rat in a cage and they give it choice of two water bottles? One is just a regular water bottle, and the other one is laced with either heroin or cocaine, right? And when you put the rat in the cage, it eventually drinks the heroin water until it kills itself, or it drinks the cocaine water till it kills itself. Like, it will pick the heroin and the cocaine over food, and it will eventually die, right? But there was this professor that he said, I wonder what would happen if you put a bunch of rats in a cage and gave them the choice of the heroin or the cocaine water, right? Because it turns out that, believe it or not, hey, the reason why they're drinking this cocaine and heroin water to death is because they're isolated and they're lonely and there's nothing else to do but heroin and coke, right? Mm-hmm. So they built this rat park, right? And it was basically a rat paradise. Like you'll see in the video, they had toys, they had other rats to hang out with. They had everything a rat could ever want, right? And if you think about it, human beings are a lot the same way. Like, the opposite of addiction is connection. And you're seeing it right now. Like when we're all isolated in our house, it's like we're in our isolated solitary cages, right? Yep. Now, what's Rat Park? Rat Park is like the meetings, the rooms, like the recovery community, when you can come together and go to rallies and go out to eat together and go to meetings together and hang out and have fun and have a good job that you care about. Like, then you're not going to be as likely to want to turn back to heroin or coke because you have stuff to do. You have things to be happy for. But if you're alone by yourself, you got 5 felonies, can't get a job, like, heroin might seem like a good thing to do at the time, you know?
I can feel you, man. I mean, I'm a felon myself, which, you know, is crazy. I never thought I'd end up being one, but it's okay. You know, I love you guys and I appreciate y'all joining me. Richie Weber's here. You know, he's been doing this for a while. And the recovery thing is really important. Doing it online right now is so important. We get past this, everybody, and we'll look back and go, man, I'm glad we stuck together, because I want everyone to know you're not alone. I'm not just saying this. I want you to feel what I'm saying. I want you to understand that you can reach out. Like, you can reach out. You're not alone. No one has to die. You understand what I'm saying? Because this is self-destruction. And from my understanding of the addiction or the disease of addiction, we can't help but want to escape. And so I want to try and help people feel like they can live in their own skin and they can get to the next moment. And you don't have to go and use to escape reality. That's like been my whole purpose, is to pour my heart and soul into helping people want to stay clean. So thank you, Kayla, for sharing. I really appreciate that on the Facebook.
I got to shout out this comment. Ryan Moe said, Richie looks oddly familiar to that coronavirus news reporter.
Yeah. This is Derek Dextromorphin. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. We did have fun on that one.
That was fun.
And that was before we knew how serious this thing was. That was, I mean, like, we knew it was bad, but we didn't know really where this was headed. So, Richie, you want me to share that video real quick with our audience?
Yeah, let's show them. Let's show them real quick. It'd be a good way to break the ice and have a little fun, you know?
Might as well. Might as well. So, guys, we got a cartoon video for you. It's like 4 or 5 minutes long, but it's the Rat Park experiment, and you'll get to hang out with us and watch this. Be sure to share this, like this video. I appreciate it. The more people who can see this, the more people might have someone to connect with, especially in a time like this. Let me get this. Never done this, so trying that.
Make sure you click the little box that says include audio on there.
Okay. Look, you've done this before, huh?
Yeah, a couple times.
All right, here we go. Let's see if this works. I'm going to have to take my headphones off. I suspect it needs to be able to hear through the mic. So with that being said, internal speakers. All right.
What causes, say, heroin addiction? This is a really stupid question, right? It's obvious. We all know it. Heroin causes heroin addiction. Here's how it works. If you use heroin for 20 days, by day 21, your body would physically crave the drug ferociously because there are chemical hooks in the drug. That's what addiction means. But there's a catch. Almost everything we think we know about addiction is wrong. If you, for example, break your hip, you'll be taken to a hospital and you'll be given loads of diamorphine for weeks or even months. Diamorphine is heroin. It's in fact much stronger heroin than any addict can get on the street because it's not contaminated by all the stuff drug dealers dilute it with. There are people near you being given loads of deluxe heroin in hospitals right now. So at least some of them should become addicts. But this has been closely studied. It doesn't happen. Your grandmother wasn't turned into a junkie by her hip replacement. Why is that? Our current theory of addiction comes in part from a series of experiments that were carried out earlier in the 20th century. The experiment is simple. You take a rat and put it in a cage with 2 water bottles. One is just water, the other is water laced with heroin or cocaine. Almost every time you run this experiment, the rat will become obsessed with the drugged water and keep coming back for more and more until it kills itself. But in the 1970s, Bruce Alexander, a professor of psychology, noticed something odd about this experiment. The rat is put in the cage all alone. It has nothing to do but take the drugs. What would happen, he wondered, if we tried this differently? So he built Rat Park, which is basically heaven for rats. It's a lush cage where the rats would have colored balls, tunnels to scamper down, plenty of friends to play with, and they could have loads of sex. Everything a rat about town could want. And they would have the drugged water and the normal water bottles. But here's the fascinating thing. In Rat Park, rats hardly ever use the drugged water. None of them ever use it compulsively. None of them ever overdose. But maybe this is a quirk of rats, right? Well, helpfully, there was a human experiment along the same lines, the Vietnam War. 20% of American troops in Vietnam were using a lot of heroin. People back home were really panicked because they thought there would be hundreds of thousands of junkies on the streets of the United States when the war was over. But a study followed the soldiers home and found something striking. They didn't go to rehab. They didn't even go into withdrawal. 95% of them just stopped after they got home. If you believe the old theory of addiction, that makes no sense. But if you believe Professor Alexander's theory, it makes perfect sense. Because if you're put into a horrific jungle in a foreign country where you don't want to be, and you could be forced to kill or die at any moment, doing heroin is a great way to spend your time. But if you go back to your nice home with your friends and your family, it's the equivalent of being taken out of that first cage and put into a human rat park. It's not the chemicals, it's your cage. We need to think about addiction differently. Human beings have an innate need to bond and connect. When we are happy and healthy, we will bond with the people around us. But when we can't, because we're traumatized, isolated, or beaten down by life, we will bond with something that gives us some sense of relief. It might be endlessly checking a smartphone, it might be pornography, video games, Reddit, gambling, or it might be cocaine. But we will bond with something because that is our human nature. The path out of unhealthy bonds is to form healthy bonds, to be connected to people you want to be present with. Addiction is just one symptom of the crisis of disconnection that's happening all around us. We all feel it. Since the 1950s, the average number of close friends an American has been steadily declining. At the same time, the amount of floor space in their homes has been steadily increasing. To choose floor space over friends, to choose stuff over connection. The war on drugs we've been fighting for almost a century now has made everything worse. Instead of helping people heal and getting their life together, we have cast them out from society. We have made it harder for them to get jobs and become stable. We take benefits and support away from them if we catch them with drugs. We throw them in prison cells, which are literally cages. We put people who are not well in a situation that makes them feel worse and hate them for not recovering. For too long, we've talked only about individual recovery from addiction. But we need now to talk about social recovery, because something has gone wrong with us as a group. We have to build a society that looks a lot more like Rat Park and a lot less like those isolated cages. We are going to have to change the unnatural way we live and rediscover each other. The opposite of addiction is not sobriety. The opposite of addiction is connection. This video is a collaboration with Johan Hari, the author of the book Chasing the Scream, the first.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a good and enlightening video for sure. You can click it back so it just goes to us.
Got it.
There you go.
And it stops share. Okay. Yeah, that actually was really cool. I didn't watch that version before.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, can you click it so it's like not right up on my face? Because I'm like, I like sit back far. Yeah, that's better because I could be closer to the mic.
The pimples. You don't want them to see the pimples. I don't blame you. I mean, you know.
Or my shabby little beard lineup I had to do on my own because I can't go to the barber anymore. What am I gonna do? Yeah, guys, let us know in the comments down below what you thought about that video. Like, did you get anything out of it? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree? And I see there's a couple people on Facebook, like Belinda and a couple other people that I know. If you guys could, make sure you like and share the video. I want this to be another cool discussion that we get people talking about.
Yeah, please do. Definitely share that. And I know from the way I look at it is, you know, I can get sober for some time. And then if I lose the connection, that's usually how relapse does happen, which is why this situation we're in right now is really a tough one. You know, when you have long-term recovery and you've been consistently being able to stay clean, you have more of a chance, if you will, in these kind of situations than someone who's in early recovery or they might have mental health problems, you know, and that's another thing that plays a huge role.
For sure. I mean, by no means is it impossible to get clean right now or to stay clean. You know, and you guys watch it, you can always message Derek or myself for resources. We can still get people into rehab all across the country. Like, rehab's considered an essential service. I know not a lot of people know this, but you can still go to rehab. You can still travel to rehab. Still possible to do. But yeah, I just want to stress, like, you can still get clean right now. You can still stay clean, but it's hard. It's a lot harder than when me and Derek got clean right now. I know that's for sure, because it is all about connection. Like, there's no in-person meetings. So now we got to do online meetings, which are great, but in an ideal world, like, we'd be face to face right now.
Yeah.
You know?
There was nothing like walking in and you feel like no one, I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that I felt like I was useless. Like, I felt completely hopeless, and someone, you know, hugs you at a meeting and says, hey, like, they really care. And you're like, dude, do you not understand what I've been doing? You know what I mean?
Right.
They love you until you can love yourself. And that's what's important. I do want everyone to know that you can join us. I'm going to share a link here while we talk. You can join us. The cool thing about this app, and thank you, Real Talk Recovery, as well as you, Richie. You guys both showed me this, but she's been using it on YouTube for quite some time. We can have more than just me and Richie up here. So if you guys have something you want to share about the video, what you're going through, you know, what are you doing to stay clean today? Look, join us on here. Here's the link in the chat.
Yep. You should click the link so it pops up on screen so people can see it too for a second. Even though click on it. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, you guys can click that link and you guys can actually come on the video with us. And for those of you that are here from my meeting, you know, that's my favorite part, is being able to just talk with everybody, because I'm so lonely at home. It's so isolating at home. We have to talk to people on the internet. So now's your chance. Come on with us. Let's talk about this topic, guys.
And Shanda, she you know, she beats the crap out of you. Just tell the truth. You know?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to send out SOS signals and stuff, and no one's came to help yet. So
please,
just kind of enduring the abuse as I go through, you know.
Absolutely. That's the link there on the screen. I'll leave it up for a few more seconds and then I'll pop it down. You guys just feel free to click that. Richie, one of the things, the guy who called me earlier, I told him to call me anytime. You know, he can message me anytime. He does jujitsu and he's into like martial arts and stuff. And he said when this all happened and he wasn't allowed to go, he was like, what do I do? And I said, look, man, just like this video said, I was like, you have to fill in and replace your addictions. He was more worried about the shame, guilt, and remorse of the fact that, you know, I relapsed, this and that. I said, forget about that, man. I said, right now, move on. Like, just move forward. Your house is burning down. Get your fire extinguisher on. You know, we got to move forward. I said, replace your habits, whatever that is for you, to help you. I play video games. I read books. I get on here and edit videos. I do stuff. So we have someone in the waiting area. Are you ready for this person?
Let's bring him on.
Why?
What's up?
What's up, Richie? What's up, everybody? I hope you guys are all doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing good. Doing better since you popped up here. Somebody came up. Thank you.
Well, you know, I kind of always feel bad. I'm like, I don't want to take all the attention and I want to give somebody a chance to come up and, like, you know, if they need it. But I figured I'd pop up and break the ice for everybody. And then if anybody else wants to come up, they can come up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely. What are you doing, Nicole? I know you do meetings online. You have a YouTube channel. You guys do a lot of meetings and stuff, and you're connecting with people often. In fact, you've been doing that for quite some time. I think that's a part of your recovery. What else are you doing? I mean, to stay in the situation, or do you have a comment on the video that we just watched?
Well, first of all, I learned about that Rat Park stuff way back in the day, first rehab center I ever went into, but I don't remember it ever being explained to me very well until like recently, probably like the last 3 or 4 years. I heard somebody say the opposite of addiction is connection. And that blew me away because that's exactly where I was at. I didn't connect with anybody. The only connection I had was with my drug dealer and my husband, but we were like, you know, so high that we weren't really connected at all. We were just getting high together, you know? And so that was just like, I love seeing that and people being able to understand it. I think it helps explain it in layman's terms. You know what I'm saying? Because like all the technological and, you know, all the big words, I don't get on with that shit. I don't understand it. So I need somebody to bring it to me like a baby, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's why that's what I try to do. Just like talk to people the way I understand things, because I'm not the brightest color in the crayon books. You know what I'm saying? So
hey, there's nothing wrong with that, Nicole. And I think me and Richie also agree. I mean, for me, till this day, and I'm not even going there in this discussion. I want to point it out, though. We're not afraid to bring up the idea. I just don't care to go there. Is it a disease or is it a choice? Listen, at the end of the day, you saw the cartoon. I could care less ultimately. At the end of the day, that cartoon gives an example of what took place in Vietnam. People came back, and being out of that environment, a lot of them didn't use. Some did. Whether you want to say the ones who continued using had something or not, it's about connection. There's something wrong with us that we need to fix. And I think all humans have that kind of inherent disconnect a lot that makes us want to use and escape reality.
Right.
You know? I'm with you.
I think that, I don't like to get into like arguments or anything about disease and all that stuff, but I'll tell you this. I know that every addict I've ever talked to that's ever shared anything with me has always told me that from the very beginning, at a young age, before, when they could really start understanding, like feeling feelings, and they felt different. They didn't feel like everybody else. They didn't feel like they fit in. And they probably, here's the thing, that's how I was. I felt like I wasn't fitting in. I felt like I wasn't a part of, but I probably was. It was just like something inside of me that made me feel, not a part of.
I feel you.
That's what I think is that the addiction that we have inside of us before. And that's what I'm like, I was getting high on like drugs, not drugs, but like utilizing sugar and food and, guys.
I was about to say.
Sorry. All that stuff before I ever got on drugs. And so I always had that addiction side in me. You know what I mean?
And how long you have how much clean time right now?
July will be 5 years, but 4.5 years about, I think like 4.5 years.
Nicole,
so,
congratulations.
And here's the other thing. You know what? I'll tell y'all one more thing before I go.
Okay.
I have been a part of many, many groups. And the reason why, I kind of just do my own thing on YouTube is because there was a point where things were just getting so toxic, and it comes to a point where it's not like we're not helping each other when we're just bickering back and forth about whether or not Suboxone is recovery, or whether or not you can be clean and sober if you're prescribed a medication for your mental health. And so for me, I just had to like break away from that and like start just making my own way. And I think that if we all like pull together and start helping each other, it helps a lot more people when we just lower down those judgments and that stigma and just start supporting one another, because
Absolutely. Nobody
can deny how far all of us have come, whether or not we were on maintenance medication, whether or not we were abstinent or going through AA or religious, to put down drugs and alcohol and change your whole life around is not something easy to do. A lot of people struggle for many, many years. And so we're like living proof that you can do that and have a great life,
Yeah, I totally agree. I know Richie does. He speaks on that often, and, not everybody's the same. Just remember that the wife is always right. That's all you have to know, and you're good. You know what I mean? That's how I live, and I'm good to go. Nicole, thank you so much. We've got someone else waiting in the waiting area. Thank you. And guys, Real Talk Recovery, you guys go check out the YouTube channel, subscribe. She does recovery meetings often. Richie, we got someone else. We got a couple people in the waiting area, but we'll bring one on at a time. And all right, here's my boy Ryan. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How's it going?
What's going on, Richie? Good to talk to you, brother. Good to see you, man.
See you too, man.
Yeah. No, dude, I was listening to Nicole talking about, all of this, the Rat Park experiment and everything like that. And I think for us as addicts too, is we have an identity crisis. We go on living in our active addiction without really knowing who we are. We're just living as our drug is, whatever high it may be. And I think for us, the Rat Park experiment is critical, finding people that we can identify with so we don't feel like we're alone. You know what I'm saying? Because then when we can connect to another person's pain and another person's struggles, but also if somebody is recovering and we can attach to that individual, then we start to like try to mimic how they do things. And like, that's why a lot of the programs and stuff are just suggestions to just help you do certain things and to try and obtain this different perspective, man. And that's, she was saying that, and I'm like sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, that's so true. Like, because I remember thinking to myself, like, I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have anyone to talk to. I felt alone, man, you know, even though I had people around me, I didn't connect on that level.
Ryan, I got a question, man. Are you about to go to the strip club or something with your shirt off like that?
No, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'll put a shirt on or something.
I'm just teasing, man. No, I totally relate to what you said there. Richie, you got something you'd like to say, brother?
Yeah, I totally relate to not wearing a shirt. Since I've been
you identify with that, right?
I can, man. I'm always running around shirtless now that I've been quarantined. You know, just walking around the house, underwear or something. You know, just chill.
Yep.
You guys,
you like just wore a shirt and you had to go and throw it in the laundry again just to do something, right?
Yeah, you know, why dirty a good shirt? You know, I mean, for all you guys know, I could be wearing no pants under here. You never know. So
you never know.
You never know. No, man. I mean, going back with what you guys said about, like, I really do think addiction, it's us trying to fill this like emptiness, this hole in us, right? You know, of not feeling like we don't belong or like we're not good enough. And when you take away the drugs, it's so imperative that you replace it with something else, right?
Yeah.
And that's why during a time like this, it's so imperative that, like, hey, the in-person meetings or hanging out with friends or going out to eat or whatever it may have been that you would do with people that you were sober with, you have to replace it with something else. And that's why things like what we're doing right now are so important. It's just that human connection, face-to-face stuff. Even if we can't physically touch each other, it's still important to be face-to-face with each other.
Well, and I think a lot of people too, they think that they don't really have much to say, but like just being with somebody else and hearing somebody else is like a start, you know, and then you start to slowly get into the issues. And
no, you're 100% right, Ryan. I'm glad you brought that up because, yeah, I think it's important. Like, I always tell people too, I'm comfortable talking now. I could ramble on forever, right? But when I first got clean, I wasn't like that at all. Like, I was super nervous and awkward talking in front of people. I got better at it as I did it more often, right? And it's important part of recovery is just learning how to communicate. Because when we're not on drugs, a lot of us, like, we don't know how to properly express our feelings, right? It's either we hold them inside or we lash out in anger or we're super depressed and sad, right? We don't know how to say, like, hey, dude, I'm not really having that good of a day today. Like, can you talk to me about it? Like, that's like a hard thing to say when you first get it. I know it was for me.
Can I cry on your shoulder?
Yeah, can I please come over and cry? You got some tissues for me?
But seriously, I cried so much in early recovery. I had so much bottled up, man. I had to just, I had water parks. And, you know, water works, if you will, water parks. We're talking about Rat Park. In early recovery, a lot of music too. Someone messaged me earlier about a song that I played. It was just one of these songs. What is the name of the group? I can't even think of it right now, but it's a really good song. And like music right now is very important. Listening to something that's therapeutic.
Music is medicine, man. Music is how feelings sound. You know what I'm saying? Like music is really how feelings sound. And it's amazing when you can grab onto stuff, but it's also important that you listen to the right music, especially early on, you know?
Yeah, I want to address something real quick here. Tanya, sweetheart, you are absolutely part of recovery. Where do you place yourself? Just because you're prescribed medications by a doctor for something that you need to take, that does not place you on the outside of recovery. So I want to make sure you understand that you are definitely part of the recovery community. That whole stigma, we're not about that. We don't draw lines. It's not for us to judge. In fact, on one of Richie's live, this guy came on saying some stuff, dude. I don't know if you noticed it. He was saying something really bad about one of the girls you had come on. And I had to go in there and say, dude, it's all about a desire to stop. It's not, is she perfect? Is she where you think she should be? No. Do you have a desire? And that's the stipulation that they have in the meeting. So yeah, anyway.
No, that's true. It's like, you know, when somebody comes in high to a meeting or drunk, I've seen people like call them out, shame them, whatever. And I'm like, dude, the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop using or drinking. Now, I understand when people get pissed that somebody's there just to get a court slip signed, right? And they're there high and drunk and talking about drugs and disrespecting other people. Like, I get that, right? But if someone actually wants to get clean and is there high, like, that's exactly where they need to be. Where else would you rather have them be than the damn meeting, right? Like, I heard somebody literally say one time, oh, why is he here? He's high. I was like, well, where else do you want him to be? Hit the drug.
You want to push him out there? You want to push him back on the street? Exactly.
Right. Exactly, man. You know?
Absolutely, man. And Ryan, how long have you been clean, brother?
Dude, I'm going on like 13 months now, dude. Yeah, life is good, man. Life is good. And I just want to put my dollar in the basket, so to speak, and chime in on that, right? I
Please.
don't think it's fair. I'm in a 12-step program, right? And I don't think it's fair that people can sit there and judge when at one point you used to be that individual. You know what I'm saying? We all recover differently. And I don't think that anybody that's on maintenance meds or any sort of alternative route should be chastised, you know, or put in a circle, because that's not how. It's like the rat park experiment. Why would we put someone in a corner while all of us enjoy this recovery over here? Why would we allow that person, just because they did one thing and that's what they chose to do? If it keeps a needle out of your arm and a pipe out of your mouth, I'm all for it.
Or a straw away from your nose, or
exactly.
A pill. No, I'm just
or
kidding.
a shirt,
We can go on
off
and
your
on.
chest, whatever. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that shirt, that's a problem, man. We're gonna have to talk about this later, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, anything that can keep me from boofing up a couple Oxy 80s, you know, I'm all for.
Yeah, no boofing. We don't want the boofing. No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, man. I don't miss that. I have to really try and relive it. That's how, you know, recovery really is a good thing, man. It's rare I even have a dream about it, but do you have a comment about that video, Ryan?
What do you mean? Do I have a comment about the rat park video?
What'd you think about that video, man?
The videos, it's interesting to know about the Vietnam sort of stuff, you know, when it mentions that people went to Vietnam and then they came back, and how the, you know, US, I mean, I kind of understand the US obviously doesn't, you know, the society back here in the States, they didn't want a bunch of drug addicts coming back because they were fearful of that, I guess, because of the uneducated stigma, though. You know what I'm saying? I think our government didn't quite understand what they were getting into, and so they put this fear thing like, oh, addiction is a dangerous thing, when really it just needs to be embraced in a way. But yeah, man, I saw that video, funny enough, when I was early in recovery. I think I was like 30 or 45 days in, and I sat there and I watched it a few times because I really had to register with all of that, because you know, it was like something that for me, I was like, why didn't I know this before? Like, why wouldn't I have thought of this sooner, you know? But at the same time, we all have to go through our own, you know, sort of recovery. So I had to find it when I needed to.
It's literally like the opposite of what we're taught. And I think that's why it's so like mind blowing at first, right? It's like drugs aren't what cause addiction. Like there's something that comes before the drugs that causes the addiction, right? And the thing about the Vietnam thing that you brought up there, it really blew my mind, was just like how few people, you know, like I think it was 20 or 30% of the soldiers over in Vietnam were using, right? And less than 10% stayed addicts when they came home, which is pretty impressive. 90% got off the stuff, right? You know, and that other 10%, there might have been other issues going on, or maybe they didn't have loving families to come home to, right? But it really does go to show you that like a lot of this it comes down to like your mental state and like who you're around. It really does. You know, that's why a lot of people can get prescribed painkillers, right? Have a surgery and be fine. Like I take a Vicodin today, I'm shooting dope tomorrow. That's just how I'm wired. But, you know, there's people that can do that though.
The mental
I've got a question.
Yeah.
I got a question. So what would you guys say then, because you guys are both have longer clean time than me, and I just need to get your perspective. What would you say to the person that is trying to get clean, but like what Richie said, is dealing with maybe not so loving of a family or home life to go back to? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of us we can get clean and we can make new associations, but we still are tied to our past in a way with the pain and suffering that we may have gone through with our families and growing up and stuff like that. Like, what would you guys say to that? I mean,
if they're still living it?
Well, you know, just being connected with certain individuals, like say you had an abusive father or something like that, and you're still around them, or a mom that, you know, was gone. She was an addict herself or something like that. I come from two parents that are both addicts. My dad's an alcoholic. My mom she dabbles in all kinds of, you know, but she recreational pot smoker and stuff like that. And it's ever since I've been able to get clean, I've been able to kind of see through that now and relate more. But like sometimes those parents, those family members don't get the idea of recovery, and they're still in their active addiction, or they're just still plagued by that sort of that wall in their mind. You know, they have that mental block.
I would say stay away, honestly. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's important. Stay away. It's not like you have to stay away forever either. Stay away until you're ready to be around them, right? You know, when you start getting a longer amount of clean time, you work the steps, you've done your therapy, whatever it is that you've done to address that issue of why did you use in the first place, that you're okay with yourself as a human being, and you've got a significant amount of time clean, that you can be around them if they're using and it's not going to bother you as much, like stay away. And if you do have to be around them, like bring somebody from like a meeting or like a sober friend or sober support, so you're not tempted to use around them, because that's so important. And it's so important that we learn to like love ourselves first and make sure we're okay before we go out and try and save the world or save our family or anything like that. And you're not a bad person. Like, yeah, it's your family, but if you need to stay away to stay sober, stay away, like 100%.
You know, I can only speak from my own experience. I can't tell you what you particularly have to do, but I can tell you in my own experience, I wanted to blame the world. My dad's an alcoholic. Okay. He was, constantly drinking all the time. And I could easily say he's the reason why or whatever. My wife was prescribed medicine at the time. Okay. This is the same medicine that I loved so much, to the point that it led me in the direction where I would end up down the road. At least that was my starting point, and that was painkillers, because she has severe pain with her back and stuff. And when I first got clean, I told her, I'm not sure I'll be able to make it. She actually I was able to communicate this. I had to tell her openly, this is where I'm at. I don't know if we're going to make it. I don't know if I know how to stay sober in this marriage, right? Which was a very scary thing. She was crying. She was so supportive. Then who really has your back. She was so supportive. She said, I'll do whatever we have to do to help you so you don't die. Because I told her, I'm going to die. I'm self-destructing and I don't know how to stay sober. So she chose to stop her medications and go to meetings with me.
Wow.
Now, that and that's how she got into recovery. That communication open helped. You're not going to change everyone with that kind of communication. You're not going to make your dad sober up necessarily. Not everyone's going to follow you on that path.
Well, and all the pain in the past isn't going to disappear either.
Right. So I had to, they say they have a saying, 90 meetings, 90 days. Dude, I was going to 2 and 3 meetings a day. I knew what old Joe and all his old farmer stories, he's missing half his jaw chewing tobacco and, hey, look here, boy, all day. I'd sat up there at these meetings and I just absorbed, and people were teaching me things I never knew. And that helped me have enough tools that later down the road, when dad had a beer in front of me or a dude pulled out a painkiller, I looked at it and thought of it as Tylenol. I literally didn't even see any appeal to it. I lost all sense of, oh yeah, there's that drug. No, I looked at him like, hey man, you need help? Or, I kept it non-judgmental, but I let him know, like, do you need help? My own brother, bro. I've had to go into his house on fire, metaphorically, needles in his arms, bags everywhere, couldn't hit a vein, the whole 9, to get him to go to rehab. And people are like, you went in there and you actually were involved in it? And yes, to get my brother treatment, I was very actively involved in him in a current using situation where I'm watching them put stuff in them. You know what I mean? So your level of recovery will develop, but you got to get, like Richie said, I think there's like a cocoon phase. You have to get strong enough before you usually can get around that stuff to even not use, and strengthen your recovery, strengthen replacing things with your addiction, so they are stronger than your addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and allowing your spirit to kind of heal. It's really about gaining your serenity back through it all. That's what I've learned, is like, for my experience being where I'm at 13 months, I know we don't say clean time equals recovery, but in my stage of recovery where I'm at, right, I feel like my serenity is more secure now, because I've had to deal with an ex-girlfriend who had relapsed and reached out to me, and she didn't know what to do, and I had to go take away shit from her. And I had someone ask me the same thing, like, how are you able to go see her and be around that? And I was like, because no one can take this from me now. I'm very strong and confident in my recovery, and I also have other people behind me. It's kind of like, I got a shoulder on her, I got a hand on her shoulder, someone's got a hand on my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It's a chain. We break the stigma of addiction, but we add a chain to our recovery, and it's just about staying plugged in and knowing the right things to do now.
What it reminds me of is it's my favorite promise, and it was like the first one I think that I saw come true, so it's always stuck out to me. And it's, we will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us, right? Like, I love that one because it did come true. As I started, going to meetings every day and started working the steps, I did start to see these promises come true. And there would be situations, and it may sound silly in hindsight, but sometimes it would be as simple as like situations which used to baffle me that would like get me high, right? Like a girl that's getting high, like smoking crack or something, wanted me to come over and hang out, right? And I'm like, oh, I want to go get laid. Okay, I'll go over there. But if I do, I'm going to end up smoking crack with her. Then I'm going to need, some dope to come down. And I knew how to handle that situation. Before, I didn't know how to handle that. I really didn't. But after working the steps some more, I found other ways to like get around that and be able to like not put myself in that situation, you know?
That's a fact. I totally relate to that. And I think early on, a lot of people who've got, you know, new time right here, like Leo, shout out, man. 8 days clean now. Love the stream, bro.
8
Don't
days,
give up.
woohoo.
8 days. Yeah. Throw some hearts up for Leo, man. For real.
Seriously.
Show 'em down in the comments.
Yeah, guys, show Leo some love. And anyone who's early in recovery, shout out your time. It's okay. Put your days on there. If you guys want to join us, you can join us. I posted the link here. You can join us and come on and share where you're at. But I want you to know that when we say, or when you go to a hospital and you speak to a medical professional, and I can speak this without needing to be one, they're going to ask you, you know, they're going to say things like people, places, and things. Environment plays a huge part. People around you influence you more. Even if you're the leader of a group, you know, they say, if you're a follower, you're a leader. Even the leaders follow a lot of the followers. And there's this, you become who you're around. So when you're 6 days, 8 days, and you ask me, what should I do? Communicate and connect with only people who are winners. Hate to sound like you know, well, whoever's the losers. And what I mean by that, winners, not losers in a derogatory sense, winners in the sense that they made it and they know how to win. They know how to beat it. Because this is the hardest thing I've ever had to overcome in my life. I've never had a harder demon, if you will, to beat. Because from my birth, I dealt with a father who also fought these same things. And he couldn't get sober from all the shame of the stuff he did in his alcoholism to us. So he couldn't stop this vicious, I could never forgive myself, he said. No, look, forget all that. You know, let's move forward. You can't live in the past. The lion will eat you. You know what I'm saying?
It's the most challenging, but it's the most rewarding, man. I mean, you're really going toe to toe with yourself, you know?
That's it. You're looking in the mirror.
It's the most dangerous opponent you face, dude. But it's also the most rewarding one is yourself, because so much of what life is just learning how to overcome self. And that's why, you know, the 12-step program is such a selfless program. That's why it just hits you over the head over and over again with like, hey, I'm powerless. I can't do this on my own. I don't know best. I have to lean on others. It's not because you have to be weak. It actually leads to a place of strength, because it's our own ego and it's our own self that gets in our way 99% of the times. And when you let that go, you actually gain a newfound peace, a newfound hope, a newfound strength that really can't be compared to anything else till you experience it.
Amen.
That's true. And then you can go to those places. So you don't want to go to those places right now. You don't want to live in those places permanently either. The environment will eventually influence you. But, you know, they say that, you know, in like the biblical sense, right? You're the salt and light. You know, you can go to certain places of darkness, but you don't want to dwell nonstop in those places, if you want my opinion. I couldn't live in my brother's house nonstop while he's actively shooting up 24/7, watching him do it and not eventually, how do I put this? I was selling Opanas, keeping it real, making $50 a pop. When I'd make a trip, 30 minutes of my time, and I didn't have to use them. I was early in recovery, and a man in recovery said, I said this the other day, you're a monkey, he said, selling bananas. And you're telling me that you're not going to eat a banana eventually? And I was like, damn, that's a good point, man. You know?
You're a monkey eating a banana. I like that. And that's so true. I've been there before too, dude. I had a couple weeks clean or something like that, month. I don't know, something like that. That was one of my times I had clean. No program at all, though, of course. But I did. I was like, oh, I'm going to make some extra money because that's all I really knew how to do, right? So I was selling weed, and then I started selling pills too, because that's where I could make a lot more money. And yeah, needless to say, like I went the first couple days without them, and I was so proud of myself. Like I had them in my pocket, and I was like, look, guys, I got all these. I'm clean now, but here I can sell them to you. Like, look at me. And I like even would like play with it. Like I'd grab the straw and like act like I was going to do a line bake. Nope, just kidding. I don't need that, you know? And yeah, within like a week, I was getting high and I lost all my money again.
Oh, the cockiness will catch you, man.
It bit me right in the ass, man. It sure did.
I think another thing to touch on, you guys can relate, and I don't want to hog too much time on this. This is important. In early recovery, first of all, we've numbed ourselves for a long time. We don't know what feelings are like. Just keeping it as dummied as down as I possibly can. We don't know what emotions are like. We know anger, but we don't really know the soft emotions that are there because we're numb. We don't want to feel those feelings. When we get clean, those feelings are heightened beyond, they end up leveling out eventually, but they're so intense that early on, if you risk holding that bag of pills, someone's going to hurt you, even because you're hypersensitive. Someone's going to say something because you're used to that lifestyle of arguing with people around you or blaming the world. So that mentality is going to cause you harm in yourself. What are you going to do when you hurt? Resort to the shit in your hand. Resort to the guy you have in your phone. Why do you have his number in your phone? The doctor might ask if you went to detox. Why didn't you delete it? Well, good point. You're holding on to something. So holding on to the dope dealer number, holding on to the, there's always a reservation. One guy in an AA meeting one time, leave him nameless to say, he put a $50 bill in his wallet and he said, if one day I decide that I want to go back to drinking, I have this 50 for it. And then years later, he took the 50 out of his wallet and said, I don't need it anymore. So we have reservations. And I think subconsciously we're still involved in those things because, well, just in case. That's how we look at it. I don't want to not lose his number and lose connection with that dope dealer. I had a good connection or whatever it might be. What do you guys feel? I mean, is that something you guys relate with?
What do you think, Richie? I'll let you go first.
Richie's like zoned out.
I was totally reading something from somebody, so I apologize. I missed that part of the conversation.
I was just talking crap about you for 10 minutes, but it's okay.
Yeah, that's more or less all
you guys were just making sure I wasn't paying
attention. What do you think of
attention.
Derek now, Richie? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so
Well, let me
go ahead
tell
and
you about that one.
I'll chime in real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Reservations, man, are I think really that's important early on, man. Because obviously we still are going to have reservations, especially early on. You're still going to have that behavior of justifying. You're still going to be blaming the world and everything around you. Yeah, man, you said the hypersensitivity to your emotions. That was true for me, man. I was crying. I was angry. I wanted to hide, but then I had to get out of that. Man, it's just important to, I guess all I could say was, hit up meetings, man, get involved with other people and kind of get out of your head for a minute, because, as I learned throughout, and I still say this mantra to myself and to newcomers and stuff, those feelings won't kill you, but the drug sure as hell will. Like you can't live off those feelings. And that's why, certain, the 12 steps and stuff like that, there's sayings like just for today, one day at a time, live in the moment, easy does it, because we have to remind ourselves on the daily, even me to this day, and you guys can probably relate as well, that we have to be reminded that sometimes life can be life and it can be hard. And a certain thing might throw us off, and our routines, especially now being locked down in Corona, our routines are thrown off, and we're scrambling to figure out ways and means to stay clean, not to get high, but to stay clean.
Yeah.
And I think it's just important, really, just to have people involved and stay connected, man. Do this sort of stuff, and just not fall victim to our thoughts anymore. And but that's easier said than done. It can be very, very tricky early on, and it's just about just really wanting it, man. Just giving yourself a break. And it's funny, we're talking about all this stuff with other people, and I was reading this or listening to this audiobook, this guy named Eckhart Toole or whatever. He's like a meditation guy, but he has this audiobook called The Power of Now, and he was talking about ego, but he was mentioning that there's 3 solutions to a problem. Either you can separate yourself from it, you can surrender to it, or you can suffer through it. And I don't know. I mean, just me being where I'm at now, I was like, wow, damn,
That's pretty
I can surrender to my powerlessness, or I can go and do that one and suffer all over again for countless amount of times or however long, or I can separate myself from those people, places, and things and find a new way to live, man.
Oh, it's true, man.
Yeah, dude, real quick, Ryan, I want to get some more guys to be able to pop on. I love you, brother.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining.
My kiddo's jumping on the bed and stuff. I appreciate you guys.
I'm glad you didn't show your nipples, man. That's all that matters. Peace.
Stay tuned. Later,
all right,
guys.
brother. Later. Richie, that dude, Ryan's awesome, man. He's been the same guy since he's gotten clean. Like he's just go, you know,
Yeah.
he's really,
I like that. I liked his energy, man. Ryan, if you're watching this, you got to hop on my meeting tomorrow, man. I'd love to have you on. It'd be really cool to hear you share.
yeah, he's got a lot of, you know, even with the time he has, he's got strong recovery, man. Nick, I saw you pop in here, man, and I see you commented here. So feel free to join us. Anyone who's watching and you want to come on, talk about the rat experiment, the video we played earlier, if you were there, or regardless where you're at in recovery, you got something you want to bring up, how we're isolated. You know, we're not supposed to socially hang out. We're not supposed to be breathing the same air as one another, which we're social creatures. We're meant to connect. So if you have something that you would like to share, anybody, I'm posting the link down here. As you could see, you guys can join us. Richie, what do you think about that? Did you catch that last part he was talking about?
Refresh my memory again.
So ultimately, from what I understand is, and it goes into somewhat of what I was saying, early recovery, all your feelings are there. How did you overcome that?
Surrender, right?
Yeah, because I mean, you're feeling everything. So
yeah, and that was the thing I was going to say too when I heard him talk was one of the most important things that I've learned in recovery. And again, it's easier said than done, but the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, right? And it's simply this. It's just like when you're having a really bad day or you're really upset or you're really sad, if you remind yourself like, hey, like I'm not always going to feel the way that I'm going to feel. And I don't know if anybody in the comments can relate to this, but a lot of times when I get sad, when I get mad, when I get upset, where I feel like someone's wronged me, I feel like that's just my life now. Right. Mm-hmm. And it feels like, oh my God, like this is horrible. How am I supposed to deal with this? Right. Sometimes it's hard for me to remember that like, there's a whole nother 24 hours past this one. So one thing that I do to like ground myself and remind myself that this is true is when I'm really upset, when I'm really mad, I will think about times in my life that I have been worse. Right. And I remember how those times eventually passed and things got better. And then I'll try and remember one happy thing. Right. Because it literally is like, okay, we're all locked down in the house right now, and that sucks. Eventually that will pass. Eventually things will get better. We will be able to have in-person meetings again. We will have rallies. You will be able to go out to eat again and go to the mall. But for right now, you can't. But remember, it's not always going to be that way.
That's a fact. That now we don't understand that concept. We chased for the right now for the drug, but we never saved for 24, 48, you know, we never thought beyond that with that. Yep. But when we get into recovery, we can't imagine. We can't even, there's no idea of being able to get a week. You know, that's impossible. We literally have to keep the same mentality that we had about the right now. Let me get my fix right now, my fix of recovery. And going through some of that stuff was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but it's made me into who I am now. It's given me strength to know how to overcome some painful stuff. Like when I had the flu not too long ago, bro, I was reliving memories. I felt like withdrawal symptoms because of the flu. And I thought, man, I've been through worse than this. I can do it. I'm going to make it, you know? And it sucked because 3 days later, even with the years of experience that I have, 3 days later, bro, I was like, is this ever going to stop? Like, is this flu ever going to end? I didn't know how long it was going to take. That's why I always say go to a medical facility when you try to do this. They can make it, I guess you'd say, bearable, you know, where it's not ridiculous.
I always compare it to this, like instead of like having the worst flu, you know, withdrawals are like the worst flu of your life, multiply that by like 10, sometimes more, right? When you go to a good detox, it's more like you kind of have an annoying cold. Like it's completely bearable. And if anything, like you're in really comfortable conditions, you know, you got good food, you got people to keep you hydrated, you got staff to check on you, make sure you're monitoring you. So yeah, you know, if you're struggling, reach out. Like a detox is a much better way than a jail cell or a couch. I promise you.
That's a fact. That's absolutely a fact, bro. And right now, with all the isolation that we got, you just dropped a video on Facebook talking about how it's still open. It's a medical necessity. And so that is a very important thing. I know also, I want to post this up here, Real Talk Recovery. Dr. B, who's been on the show before, you guys can tune into him on YouTube tonight, 3 p.m. on his channel. I posted it on my community tab. You guys can check him out. He's going to go live. He's going to be talking about coronavirus and addiction. And, you know, I mentioned him. He's like Dr. House. You know, he reminds me of Dr. House, minus being a secret drug addict, you know. Yeah, so definitely go check him out. Richie, when are you going live again, bro?
So we have the next meeting is tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on my page, Richie Weber. We do those meetings every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. If you guys want to check out some good meetings, they're awesome. They're just like this, but we have like 300 people watching and commenting. And usually we have like a dozen people come on with us and talk. And it's a cool thing. And we're going to start hopefully building it over here for Derek too. You know?
Yeah, we're trying.
I think that'd be
I've
cool.
never done this like this. Nobody on this channel has ever seen me do lives like this where we're bringing people on. I didn't know how. So if you guys want to join us, posting that link one more time here. It is in the comments section, and Nicole is in the comment section. Nicole, post when your next meeting is too, so anyone who's watching can go join that whenever you have your meeting. That's important. Even if it's the same time as Richie's, I think it might be. You might have it on days that he's not doing his meetings as well. So we're all trying to connect and stay in touch. You're not alone, you know?
Yeah, it's awesome. I love seeing more and more meetings popping up and more options available for people, you know, because it is so important that we always stay busy. So I know I offer 4 meetings a week right now. I thought about even doing like a group workout with people, you know, like an at-home workout. Yeah. A lot of people seemed really interested, man, because it's important for us to stay active too and not just be sad sitting in the house, you know.
I just saw this ridiculous. You made me have to. I'm going to have to search it now because this person's doing aerobics, saying that they're doing aerobics at home. Who was it? They had this goofy looking aerobics instructor standing there dancing, and it was the most. Let me just put it this way: it was funny looking. That's all I could say. And I'm thinking, there's Richie. Come on, guys.
Yeah, come on. Let's go.
All right. Teddy, you were just in, man. I was just about to add you, brother. We had someone in the waiting area. Teddy, jump back on, my friend.
Yeah, you guys, all right. Let me see how many people are watching. There's like 15 people watching right now, right? I want to see all you guys at once. Hit the heart button, throw the hearts up. And the last couple of you guys that haven't shared, hit the share button. Let's get some more people on here. Let's hang out today. What else do we got to do today? And then I challenge one of you guys to come on video with us. Just hang out, even if it's for 2 minutes.
Who said we are? My wife.
Look at Ryan Lambert. We aren't sad, are we, babe?
Exactly. No.
Did she give you some booty earlier when you were sad?
Whoa. That was yesterday. No, I'm just kidding. Someone, come on, join us. There's nothing to be afraid of. Nothing to be afraid of, and we're hanging out. We want someone to join us live. Look, I'm starting to do this, guys. So I want to see some new faces that have been watching the channel. If you have something to say, like, dude, I saw your video on day 5 where you were sucking ass, smoking cigarettes, and putting them out on banana pills, and you want to talk about anything, you know, like related to recovery, related to the situation we're in, the video I played, or any, it doesn't matter. Just join us, come say something, show some love, show that we have a connection here and there's no space that can distance us. You know, that's one thing I think is interesting, Richie. We have, you know, social media and stuff has kept us so distant. I could sit in front of you at a lunch table on lunch and be so far away from you. We might be eating in front of each other, but I'm on my Facebook.
Yeah, we're on the phones and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so technically we're already used to kind of doing some of these things. I think it's important that we utilize what we've been doing and act as though we're right here, you know, next to each other.
Yeah.
So definitely.
I agree.
Definitely. Did you already post something? Oh, you said, hold on. You did. Okay. So Richie says his meetings every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on his big page, Richie Weber. So that's his professional page. And you guys can search him. It's not his personal profile.
It's just a picture of me in black and white. It's pretty easy to find. It's the bigger of the 2 pages, obviously. And yeah, I always encourage people, like, if you want meetings, like, set a reminder in your phone so it always goes off.
Is that live right now?
Yeah, you're live.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Welcome,
no.
Teddy. Welcome, my brother. You're fine, man. It's no sweating. What's up, brother?
I think you scared him away.
Uh-oh.
Hey, are you still there?
But I just wanted to join. I thought I was in the background, but just love what you guys are doing. I actually talked to Derek earlier today, so this is pretty cool what you guys are doing. And,
hey, you're not alone, bro. Like I said
I'm kind of
earlier.
shy, so I'm gonna dip out. But
It's okay, man.
I you know, in the future, I'll definitely share some of my perspective and being into this positive things you guys are doing.
Teddy,
Thanks,
I need you in the future to share with me your hair secrets, dude, because I'm lightweight jealous, dude. I ain't got that no more, dude. I used to have hair like that. That's
I
dope.
don't know, man. Usually it's just straight out like a porcupine, but I don't know.
That's dope, dude. For real, I like that, man. That's dope.
You can go Super Saiyan, bro. You'll have golden hair next time we see
Yeah. Hell yeah.
For sure. Thanks for joining, Teddy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man. That's
Hey,
awesome.
and you guys watching, see, just like Teddy, like, you know, he wasn't super excited to be on, but that's what it's about, pushing and stepping outside of your comfort zone a little bit. And even if you come on for a minute or two, dude, that's better than not, you know, because maybe next time you come on for 3 minutes, then maybe the next time you come on for 4. And then eventually, like me and Derek, blabbering on for an hour long. Like it's nothing.
Absolutely. Sherry, I believe that's how you pronounce your name. You lost your son to a complication from pneumonia, depression, everything never gets easier. Love you guys. Look, you're not alone. Feel free to message us. And I have a Discord group. Let me pop that up here on the screen just so you know, like there's a chat room and I don't have the link up here, but it is called Rewired Addiction. Over 1,000 members. I think there's like 1,500 people in there. Lots of mothers, lots of people who are in recovery. Just being able to talk to someone sometimes who understands where you're coming from. You can message me. You're not alone. There's 34 people watching from what I could see here, 26 on YouTube. And, you know, there's always someone to talk to. So don't feel alone. We got your back. And thank you for commenting. Dr. B, I see you in here. If you can pop on, brother.
Yeah, come on. We need a doctor.
We need a doctor.
We need a doctor.
Exactly. Rory says you should embrace all fear and feel all love of this world. That's the way to reach peace and happiness. Pretty cool saying. Absolutely, man. You guys, where are you at? I'm waiting for someone. Someone's got to click the link. I just posted the link, by the way. You see me. It's join us live. You guys can pop on and say what's up.
Stephanie asked if anybody's from New York. Oh, and Real Talk Recovery said we need to get Richie a wig, you know?
Oh, dude, like you were when you were in MMA?
Show him a little bit, you know?
Speaking of which, that whole MMA thing, tell them about the whole Logan Paul thing we did.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. For April Fools, I had Derek make me this really cool graphic, and it looked like I would be fighting Logan Paul because a bunch of people had told me they wanted me to do that anyway. So disclaimer, I'm not really fighting Logan Paul, but I did trick probably a couple hundred people with it. It was pretty funny.
I'm going to pull it up. I might as well, right?
That's what I was going to do. Pull it up, put it on the screen.
Okay. So we're going to do the share screen thing again. And just to show them, it looks somewhat realistic, bro. It does.
It does.
Right.
It did a good job.
So you can tell. Yeah. Can you see my mouse?
Yeah, you can see the mouse.
So I'm going to tell everyone my secret. Okay, here's what I did. I cropped this little square. It goes behind your head because I had to crop you out. And this square tried to blend. This was the most complicated part, getting that orange to connect here. And then, of course, I override everything that was here. Richie Weber versus Logan Paul. Sky Sports MMA office. June 30th. Richie will rear naked choke him.
Yeah, that's all. I thought it looked pretty good. It was pretty convincing, I thought. You know,
right? All right, done sharing. Let me see. Go back to here. Boom.
Hey, check this out. I'm gonna pull something up on my screen real quick. I think it'll let me do that.
It should
show people. Hold on. I gotta scroll back a little farther.
Absolutely, my brother.
Steven,
Steven, pop on another day, my brother. Look, someone says that photo was so legit. Alexander.
Yeah, it's little Alex.
Yeah. Hey, and I tried, man. It took me longer than usual to Photoshop that one. I wanted people to be convinced, bro. 100%.
Oh, it was good. It was really good, actually. So
there were people messaging you saying, what were they saying? It was like, when is this? Oh, I'm so proud of you. I'm glad you're going to fight Logan Paul. And
yeah, they wanted to know where they could watch it and stuff and when they could watch it. It's pretty funny.
Right.
All right, so let me see if I can pull this up then. Okay, I think this works. Is it popped up?
Yes. Let me add it to the stream. Boom.
Okay. Yeah, so there's me with long hair before I was bald. I had a straight up fro
Dude.
going on right there. Yeah.
And when I went to do this thumbnail, I was like, you're gonna have to do one of modern. People aren't gonna believe it. It'll be obvious if you have your hair, you know.
Yeah.
So we had to do one with you current.
Yep.
That's funny. Hey, look, Ryan Moses, I got Richie in 5 rounds, 5 on it. Like,
there we go.
Like you can take him out. So do you think if you really went in an MMA, now this is MMA, do you think if you went into an MMA match with him, and he's a good wrestler, I've heard from people like Joe Rogan and others who've talked about Logan Paul.
Yeah, he went to state in wrestling, so he actually knows how to wrestle.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think you could take him? And we got someone, I'm bringing him on while you answer that.
Yeah, no, I definitely know.
Hey, what's up, bro?
I got better jiu-jitsu than he does. And he's not that great of a boxer either. He's not bad. He's not a bad boxer. He's not great, though, by any means. So
absolutely
it'd be a fun fight for sure.
Yeah,
hey, I'm going to let you and Connor hop on here. I'm going to go
get
ready for the day. But, yeah, I want to thank everybody that was on here. Thank you guys so much, and take care. I love you guys.
Love you, bro. Thanks, man.
See ya.
All right, Connor, what's up, man?
So, bro, I got some headphones in today. Last time I couldn't hear you. You know what I mean? I had when we like chopped it up after I came on and shit. I had to have the phone up to my ear like this because I couldn't hear you all like that. You know what I mean? I felt bad, but I was able to make out like a lot of what you said and stuff like that. But dude, that video and stuff that we did when I posted it on Facebook, bro, started even though it was like only a few days ago. And my life has already been like going more positive, you know what I mean? Right. It started even more of like a positive reaction and stuff in my life, man. Like I had someone that I really just ripped my headphones out. Give me a second.
You can't hear.
The cord's like extra short on these.
It's all right. I'm gonna bring someone else on here too and have both of you guys here. What's up, Ian, real quick? Can you hear me, brother?
I can hear you. Can you see me okay?
I can. Connor's filling me in on something about a video we just did, the recent video we did on YouTube with him. Let's let him fill that in, and then I'll jump to you, brother, and we'll have a conversation. Connor, so what happened when you shared that video that we did together on YouTube to Facebook?
So well, first of all, a lot of people just in general, like, I mean, like, dude, I'm the type of person that like I post a status and get like 1 or 2 likes, you know what I mean? And like I had like almost 30 people and stuff like that. Some people like I haven't even talked to since I was like in like 6th or 7th grade, you know what I mean? Like reacted to that, dude. And I had someone from like right before like I got locked up and stuff. Like I was like kind of like in a relationship, and I had someone like even like reach back out to me that I kind of like messed up on, you know what I mean? Like it was my fault, like before, you know what I mean? I got in trouble and stuff, and even they reached out to me and stuff, and like they're trying to like talk to me again, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's like it was powerful, man, because like just I kind of like related it to like this. It's like just how like when you get into it, you don't just go out and like you don't just go out and the first day you're out there like trying to hustle dollars off people at the corner store and, you know, trying to scrape change to buy single cigarettes or just all, you know how it goes, bro.
Yep. I know.
And it's like a chain reaction. Like if you do even if it's the tiniest bit of something negative, if you condone that or if you do something like that, it's going to attract more of that into your life. You know what I mean?
Well, dude, in your story, it showed a lot of connection that you were wanting. You know, you needed something and you weren't getting it. You know, you weren't getting it growing up, and so this obviously is helping you a lot. And if you would, dude, stay in touch with me. You know what I'm saying? You got me on Facebook. Don't forget to message me. Come back on these lives anytime, bro. You know what I mean?
I almost hit you up yesterday. I'm not bad to keep rambling on, but I almost hit you up yesterday about like a situation that happened, like asked for your perspective on it and stuff like that. But I was like, no, I don't want to, you know what I mean? But dude, now I don't know why I was a little bit nervous in the interview, something I got to clear up though. And I don't know what it is, but dude, it's just like little stuff like this bothers me. Like I said, I'd run on the treadmill for an hour. I meant go to the gym for an hour. You'll never catch me on a treadmill for an hour in a row. Hell
me
no.
neither. But just keep in mind, I'm not a marriage counselor, and if you need anything, I might have to direct you to someone professional. I'm just kidding, man. Feel free to reach out, and if I can't answer something, you know, I'll send you the right direction as much as possible, bro. So Connor, thanks for joining me, brother, and giving that tip. And thanks a lot. I'm gonna jump over here to Ian, and I love you, man.
All right, bro. You want me to hop out of this?
Yeah, hop off. Right. Well, I can remove you
All
from the screen. I'll have Ian here.
Yeah, because I don't see anything on my screen how to do it. Oh, there it goes. There it goes.
All right. Ian, what's up, man? So that was actually
Brother Derek.
Yeah, man. That was a recent video I did with him. So
really? Okay, yeah, I haven't seen it.
You good looking, man. You're looking like you're ready for the virus to go away. You know what I mean?
I am ready, man.
What are you doing to stay clean and sober?
You know what? Okay. When this whole lockdown thing first started, I was like, this ain't a big deal. You know, I've been quarantining for over 15 years. I got this down.
Right.
But no, when you're clean, you don't have things to reach for. I did catch myself start to get anxiety. And as what was just said, I mean, I get nervous for everything, you know, popping on here, even still chairing meetings, I get a little nervous, but I think it's healthy.
Right.
But no, reaching out, using my phone, doing the video calls, that is just so, it has been so crucial for me. And the Rewired Addiction Discord is literally a lifesaver to me and so many others.
Right.
I always have to thank you for that, and I'm always trying to plug it whenever I can.
Well, that Discord, man, it's been held by, dude. We just got it started, right? And it took on its own. The people in there like became a seriously strong community and said, "We're going to keep this thing going." You know?
Yeah, it kind of became its own beast. You know, got momentum, got people committed, and it's just become, you know, it's just a great place. You've reliable people, you know, just. There's just nothing but great support there. It is such a wonderful, I mean, it is perfect for people who are new in recovery. This lockdown aside, you know, people don't know what to do, and they go to YouTube and they find you and others, and then they find this Discord. And now with the quarantine, and I haven't been able to catch up on videos. I'm sure you've been talking about it because we have had the most insane influx of people.
Yeah, a lot of people need it, man. They need it. Yeah,
terribly,
I needed it
terribly.
Well, you know, I really feel bad. If you go back to the days when we first started getting clean and sober and we had somewhere to go, there was a building down the road or people that were standing outside smoking cigarettes that you could go smoke a cigarette with, you know,
right.
You don't necessarily have that same thing here. So they need something. And this is why we're doing videos and stuff like that. And trying to have the interaction, which I never had on this channel yet. So I said, screw it, man. Like, we got a big enough platform here on YouTube. Let's get some people who need help. Share this out. If you know someone who wants to come hang out, they're struggling. Dude, my demographic has always been the addict themselves. And usually the addict themselves need other people to help them to want to get help. I try to help people go to treatment, medical help, that kind of stuff. And when I talk to the addict, I have to remember I wouldn't have done it by myself. If it weren't for my mom, my wife, and everyone around me not taking my shit anymore and saying, here's the deal. Like, my wife had to kick me out. My mom and dad were done. They were done, man. They didn't want to deal with me anymore. When all that happened, then I still wanted to use, but I wanted my life to be better. Complicated. I get it. It seems like, well, how can that be? How do you not want to stop using? Well, the feelings you get from the substance. So, you know, you miss that idea. And so I needed help. And I talk to the addict, and so often when they reach out, you only get so far with them because the people around them aren't making them make a change. And that's important. You know, I don't know how else to put it, brother.
Yeah, that's a great way. I mean, that's just the reality of it. And I did see that I don't know if it was just on part of your page that you're helping people find help and get to places. That is so amazing. I'm so happy to hear that. Derek, you're a blessing. I'm not here to, you know, fluff anything up, but you're just a blessing. I gotta go pretty soon here. My phone's about to die, and I gotta I'm about to go kick some butt today and get some things done, but I had to come on. I wanted to show my gratitude, check in on how I'm doing, how I'm dealing with this, and also plug Rewired Addiction.
Yeah, Rewired Addiction
And
goes
please
on
come
without
join
me.
us, guys.
Please do. Yeah, Ian, I
It's
love you,
always
man.
there. I
Love
love
you,
you
brother.
too, brother. Thank you so much, Derek. And
Thank
God
you.
bless everyone. I love y'all. And let's stay clean another 24 together.
Absolutely, brother.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Take care.
You guys heard it. Ian, I've known Ian for a while now, and he's been around when Ryan Donnelly, if you don't know who that name is, YouTuber, you can search him on YouTube. The guy had been through it all. Another Army guy that had been through it. He was Special Forces, and I didn't know him when I was first starting my YouTube, but people started to talk about him later, and he has all sorts of tips and stuff, but he ended up passing away from us. Had nothing to do with addiction. But yeah, so Ian is familiar with that, and I'm gonna check your guys' messages. If you want to join me, I can't remember, I think it was Corey. Feel free. You can definitely go into the link. Here's the link if you guys want to join me here. Let's see, back out of isolation, right? This is the best way to do it. Coming on a program like this or getting in Discord, a chat room. I remember back in the day, the cool chat rooms we had. This is before MySpace. That's like ancient for some of you. Before MySpace, we had these like AOL chat rooms. And for some reason, you could escape in your mind and get lost in communicating with people. Well, Discord is kind of like that, except you can share pictures and clips and audios, and you can talk, and it's awesome. There are ways in Discord where you can actually go into big meeting groups and actually talk to each other and just hang out. So you're not alone. And it doesn't have to be like one person on a YouTube video or two people, because I can bring up like 2-3 people. There's a bunch of people. So keep that in mind. Nicole, you have a great day too. Corey is in the chat room. Let me bring him on, everybody. What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Just chilling, playing video games in quarantine.
What kind of game?
A computer game.
Uh-oh. Do I know it?
It's called RuneScape. I kind of went back to it.
Old school.
Yeah,
I hear you, man.
Old school RuneScape, dude.
So yeah, you brought up an interesting thing about mental health, and there was something a lot of people don't understand. There's a connection between addiction and mental health back in the day, and from your own experience, right?
Yeah.
So what is it that you had personally that was going on that you'd like to share with us?
Just growing up, like when you have it, you never get treated right in school, and and you get bullied and stuff. And then once you finish high school, you're all alone. And there's all these Netflix documentaries about marijuana. I'm like, I've never really had any friends or love in my life, so maybe I'll try it. And I loved it.
More than anything, huh?
It was just like, it just changed everything. The way my brain's wired, and when you put like a substance in it, it's completely different than a neurotypical person, I think. So
you were habitual. Like, are you currently still struggling with that, or are you kind of, where are you at in it, if you don't mind me asking? And there's no judgment, man. There's no judgment. So
okay, so I smoked, and then I quickly graduated to harder shit like Xanax, and I did opiates, but they made you constipated. I didn't like them that much. And then psychedelics and just shit like that. And then I just quit all that shit, but I still smoke to sleep.
Right.
Honestly.
I understand that, man. Well, listen, if anybody's out there right now, what would you like to say to them who might be going through a similar thing that you did? And I got someone in the waiting room next, so
what would I say? Just if you have mental issues at all, find a different way to relieve your stress, because it's not worth spending all this money and losing relationships and shit like that.
I tell you what, Corey, reach out to me after this, message me, right? We'll schedule a time to get your story, because I think that'll be important. And obviously we'll go into some of the stuff that you went through from the mental health side and growing up, the way you were treated and how that affected you and stuff. I think that'll be a good story, brother.
All right, cool. Thanks, man.
Thanks for popping on. Everybody show Corey some love. Thanks a lot, Corey. I love that guy. He reached out a long time ago, and he had been through quite a bit of things growing up that caused that trauma to make him want to use. So now we've got 24 hours. Paul, what's up, my brother?
Derek.
Hey. So you're in the Discord a lot, aren't you? 24 hours, Paul, what's up, my brother? There's an echo.
Doing well, yeah. What's up with the echo here? Do I have to shut YouTube down or something? Should I be on StreamYard or YouTube?
Usually people put the headphones in. I don't know if you have any.
Let me try to shut one of these down. There, how's that? Better?
That's better.
Yeah, I shut YouTube down.
That's even better, brother. So what's up, man? What are you doing to stay clean and sober, or whatever your vice is?
Well, you know, first of all, I'm just grateful to be on. This is my first time actually communicating. You were in one of our meetings once. I had a chance to talk to you, but
I know who you are.
You have a big part to play in me being clean right now. So I wanted to pop on and, you know, fight the embarrassment of being live on your channel and all that. But
thank you,
man. You were talking about the banana peels and shit the day 5, and you know I was right there 311 days ago, and
wow,
you know, I found that Discord, and you know I got 14 days clean without going into voice rooms or talking to anybody. But on day 14, I lost that power of choice, and I got high again. But I was really active on the Discord in that 14 days, and I went out on a 19-day relapse. That was pretty bad, you know. I came crawling back on day 1.
Right.
And the rest is history. You know, I met Shannon, and she kind of, you know, when she, you know, on the Discord there, when she gave me some roles, I was really honored to be part of your deal. You know, I was like, okay, well, I'm here because of you. And now it's like I'm being bestowed this privilege of like kind of like working with the newcomers coming through, and it was really cool, man. It really helped me in my recovery. And then next thing you know, I was chairing a meeting, and the rest, as they say, is history. But you guys were talking about that Ryan Donnelly video. I was on day 2 when you did your tribute to him, and it was a Friday for my day 2 off, you know, the horrible opiates, and I had to go to work, man. I was so broke. I was in such a hole. Missing work was not an option. And I was so sick, man. I didn't know how I was going to do it. And it was like 6 in the morning. I went to the early bird AA meeting. I was just like popping. My legs were just squirming. I couldn't sit in that meeting. So I came back home. I was like, there's just no way I'm going to make it to work. And so I just popped on my TV. Luckily, it wasn't in the pawn shop. And I watched your Ryan Donnelly tribute video. And I don't know what it was about that video, but something like got inside of me and just gave me the courage to just say, all right, fuck it. Like I just psyched myself up and fucking went out the door and made it to work. And I got through that day, and that was day 2. And then I could detox over the weekend. And
dude, that thing that you're talking about, that's what I try to give. Like, it's almost like I'm handing all the energy I have through the sound waves, you know, like I want to just give it to you. And of course it doesn't always get people to make that step, but it plants, I like to believe that it plants seeds. And that's why I always tell people, make a video, make a YouTube channel, get involved. You started off from active addiction and then worked up getting clean time, and now are in Discord where you have authority, where you're able to, I guess you say, don't use the word authority, but like you're actually giving away the things that were given to you first walked in the rooms online. So we've been doing this for a year and a half, 2 years almost. It seems like that, about a year at least on Discord, a year and a half, I'd say. And we've been doing what everybody's trying to do now. So this is nothing new to us, which is really cool, having the Discord. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I just can't emphasize enough. Just for the longest time, man, all I was doing was just propping you. I was just so grateful to you and just you alone, man, just because it was you. And then to get introduced to the Discord, I was so isolated. I had no friends. I had nothing.
Yeah.
And, you know, I obviously have a sponsor in real life, and I got in touch with him early on that day 3 when it was a Saturday, and I just went from having nobody, nothing, completely isolated to a network of people I could talk to. Because you know, meetings are important, but it's the social interaction of talking with clean people and making a new network of clean friends was what made all the difference for me. And and also, you know, having a hard ass sponsor too. I mean, like I'm not unique, Derek, you know, and neither are you when it comes to where we were at that point at our bottom. But yeah, it takes, you know, I don't even know how it happened anymore. I'm sure some people can relate, maybe even yourself. I don't even know how I got clean because it's so
crazy.
Hard. It was so hard.
It's we relied on other people. I could promise you that. We had to do it, but having that connection, you know, the first saying they say, and this is for people who are like that whole God thing, like they don't know what to think. And you don't even necessarily have to believe the way anyone else does. I lost him. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, they say the group of drunks can be like your thing. So you get the social necessities from meeting with people. So there's more to it. It's making connections, like you said, and here we are trying to make connections. And anyone who's watching, look, 24 hours Paul. That's his name on here. That's his name on the Discord. You guys can't miss him. Feel free to join that. That's in the description of most of my videos. I don't know if I put it in the. This doesn't allow me to detail my description. So if someone who's in the Discord, or even if you jump off, Paul, feel free to post the link to the Discord in the comments here so people can know where to go to get there.
You know, Derek, I'm going to say one more thing because, you know, for a long time, and when I was early on in the Discord, I was always telling people I'm Derek's #1 fanboy, and I still am, brother. I always got a gratitude to you. It was just there were a lot of early detox videos. But I don't know. I gravitated toward yours for some reason. But anyway,
it might have been the enema. It might have been the enemas that I stuck up my ass to get the shit out, or it might have been the banana pill. Everybody's appealed to the banana pill, you know.
Well, what it was I'll tell you. I tell people this a lot too. Is that I would celebrate my increments of clean time by like watching your 30-day video. Or when you got to like 30, and like I wouldn't watch those videos. I would only watch them when I got to that increment of clean time as like a reward for it. And then I'd see like where you were at. I'd compare it, and it was cool, man. It was really cool. I'm just grateful, man. I just wanted to pop on and fight the fear of going live. And
that's interesting, man. I'm glad you put that perspective. That's really cool. And I hope not to ever have to put cigarettes out on banana pills, enemas, or call my mother-in-law my stepmom. That one I caught hell for a long time. Everyone's like, "You married your sister?" On day 5, if you go back and watch it, you'll catch it. People were clowning me. I was coming off heroin. Give me a break, please. Paul, thanks for joining me, brother. I love you, man, and stay in contact.
Man. It was a real honor to be on your channel today, and like I said, it's an honor to be on the Discord too. So
hey, anytime, come join me here again, and just it saves you a lot of headache if you get a little earbuds, if you have them. If you don't sweat it. This works. So
I'll figure it out.
Love you, bro. Thanks, man.
All right, guys, thank you so much, Derek.
You too, bro. Bye. I love you guys. I really do. Thanks a lot. I feel my energy's coming back. It's kind of depressing, you know, like just being isolated by myself. It really, really sucks when you're all alone and you're trying to feel better. That's the reason why we did drugs to begin with. And Paul, he's been in there for a long time. I've seen him at least close to a year, almost right back to where this stuff popped off. So if you're alone, you can make it from nothing and have your life back, you know, or a better life than you had before. And that's not a joke. If any of you guys want to join me, I'll take up one more person. Someone come on, say hey, and then I'll cut this one out. And look, I would love to have a day where I know when I'm going to do this and exact times. It's very difficult. If I turn my computer right now, you can't really see anything down here, but the wife and I are packing up. We're about to move, hopefully, as long as everything goes smooth. We're trying to get the house packed, and we're going to relocate. But I want you guys to know that I'm going to try and do these more often. I've been pretty consistent This is the third time, third time, something like that. I'm learning how to do this too. And I got it on Facebook and on YouTube. On Facebook, I love all y'all. Thank you for showing up. YouTube's been around this block for quite some time. And anybody want to join me? The link is down here. I'll give you 30 seconds to figure out whether you want to come on and say hey and share where you're at, or tell us anything, what you got going on, because it's not about what I'm wanting. It's about you guys. It's us. It's a we thing, you know? So if there's anything you guys want to share, please come on. I'll wait a second. No takers? Anybody? There's no one who hasn't come on yet that isn't wanting to come on and say what's up. Here we go. We got somebody. Awesome. Mama, what's up, Mama?
Not too much. My son was being bad, so my hubby took him out for a ride, so hopefully he'll fall asleep.
How are you doing right now?
I'm hanging in there. I don't know how much you know about me, but yeah, I'm sure you've seen me around. I'm on Nicole's channel. I pop on here, pop on there.
Yeah.
So like I'm not an addict, but I hang out in like you guys' channels because I find you guys all interesting, and like you're my outlet for like, cause Kenny he's a handful, so like I come on here and chill out, and then it's like relaxing time, I guess. I don't know.
So it's like almost like watching crazies like me makes you feel like I don't have it so bad. This guy's pretty bad. So no, I'm just teasing.
Right.
Well, I really do appreciate that you're on here. And it's great to see someone who's not even an addict that is involved in this as well. You know, everyone has been affected by this in some way. So even if you yourself are not one, they call it like a family thing, you know, a family disease for those who struggle. I know that I was affected even before I ended up addicted to drugs or alcohol at all. And so I can totally relate to that. And I appreciate you popping on. I really do. And feel free to message me anytime. I got the Discord. I know Nicole too. We're constantly in contact and stuff. So.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
I was like, you know where Richie's from?
Yeah, Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you from the same?
I'm from the same town actually.
Wow, right down the. So if I pay you to go punch him in the gut, now we'll talk about it later. I don't want to tell everybody my secrets here.
No, I wouldn't do that. But yeah, he's from around here. He's from around town, so his name comes up every once in a while.
Awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, feel free to message me. And you know, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. So you can always find me, and definitely I'll add you if you're not already there.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Thank you for joining me.
Yep. Thanks, Derek.
All right, bye. Teddy, what's up, man? You decided to get a double dip on.
Yeah, my bad. I had to get back on because I was talking to some people in the comments, and I figured I wanted to share where I'm at so other people aren't alone. So, you know, I reached out to you earlier, you know, just telling you how I was beating myself up. So for awareness that the folks that don't know me, I had around 88 days clean or something like that, December 23rd. And I eventually stopped counting the days because all I really cared about was feeling good, right? It wasn't about X amount of days. All I wanted to do was feel better, right? I didn't want to suck. I was tired of that. And I remember just detoxing, just washing that through. And my drug of choice was, dope. You know, started off with the oxy pills, then it just went down a treacherous road that, unfortunately, I, you know, came back on the same road. And luckily, I reached out to you and caught myself this time. But it got me thinking a lot. like about this rat experiment, and I was wondering, like, I knew I did all this internal work, I did all this new work trying to like find out, why do I succumb to my vices? Why am I weak, or am I crazy? Like, just because this social distancing, because all my vices was, you know, exercise, doing jujitsu, fitness, everything positive. I basically replaced my addiction with something positive. But when the quarantine hit, I wasn't really anxious about that. I was like, oh, this will be nothing. But then I noticed all my healthy vices was out the door. And, you know, I was very open about my addiction, something I was really ashamed of in the beginning. I was asking there, how do you like have the balls to tell people this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
And then I realized that like when I was open about it at my dojo, I didn't face any discrimination. They just, you know, appreciated that I'll show up, improve, and, you know, go there and just, you know, treat everybody the same, stay humble. And it was just a beautiful thing. And then once that was taken away from me, I had this feeling inside of me that I wanted to feel again. And then unfortunately led to a relapse. I only have 2 days now, but the withdrawal is nowhere as bad, but man, it's still in the back of my head. And, you know, I'm trying to find new things to do. So I decided to hop on here and kind of share this relapse story, just to, you know, let other people know that you're not alone, and don't beat yourself up over it. Cause like, you know, it's the process, just figure out, look at it from a different angle and figure out why you went this route, you know, and it really helps to be open about it. Like, you know, I'm kind of being selfish here, just going out here and just venting a bit, but you know, the truth will set you free in a way. So,
dude, Teddy, you're the man. You're the man. I'm gonna tell you why the man. Don't let that ego blow up. Of course, we know that you were shamed earlier, and been there, bro. I had 28 days. I told myself never again. Walked out in the face of a doctor who told me a detox. Derek, this is what the doctor told me. Derek, you have what's called the disease of addiction. Okay. And I'm looking at this guy and I'm going, dude, no, I'm not. I'm not the guy under the bridge. I'm not this guy. I could not relate. I was not them. I just made a few bad decisions. This was just a choice. It was that simple. I just liked the way it made me feel. And I remember looking at me and he was like, I hope I never have to see you again, sir. That's what he told me. I hope I never have to see you again. I said, you will never see me again, sir. And I promise that. You won't have to worry about me. I walked down to that place, headstrong. My brother had to get straight. He had to pick me up. He got straight on the way home. I told him, I don't give a get me home. I need to go to a meeting, right? I knew what I needed to do, but I never understood it because my dad went to meetings for years and he told me, if you ever find yourself struggling, you can go to meetings. I didn't know what that was. Went into a meeting, kept going to meetings. 28 days later, I think I stopped going to meetings. I went to go visit my cousin about an hour and a half away. And I remember I still had telephone numbers in my phone.
Yeah.
Why? Why do I have these outlets is what I had to ask myself later. I called the dude that I knew had the stop sign Opanas, 30 milligrams, and I knew exactly what I wanted, how to get it, and I started a fight with my wife on purpose. All this crazy stuff. Go get 2 of them, went to my mom's condo, crushed them down, did half a pill, started recording myself on the phone. And I remember looking at it, making an apology video, high as a kite, waiting for it to kick in while I was telling my wife, I'm sorry for arguing with you, babe. And then in the middle of the video, I don't have this video to this day. I wish I did, just to show people like, what are you doing? And I recorded 28 days off of Opana, did my first line. And I sat there and said, I love you. And I'm sorry. I didn't mean to fight right now. And what I said right now, it made no sense in the middle of what I was doing. That's when it kicked in. That's when I felt the high kick. Right. So later on, I showed my wife, she goes, what were you thinking? I don't know how to describe what I was thinking other than I wanted to feel better. So how do we feel better without needing the drug? You know, what's that connection that we have with that substance that makes us feel better? It's not, how do you put this? We have a pain inside we're trying to feel. So we do things to make us feel better, like that video discussed. And for you, you know, jujitsu, outlets, things like that. We need to be able to have other outlets. If we can't do that, go for a run, go for a walk, make a phone call to a friend, get on a video game. If that doesn't work and that makes you more bored, put on some music, call somebody like you did me, those type of things, or reach out to others, get into Discord apps. There's so many things we can do. And at first, when you're coming off the chemicals, you know, well, man, it sucks. Once that leaves and your body heals and gets back to normal, then it's not that hard. It's about not forgetting. is what it's really about, you know?
Yeah, I totally relate to that, man. And I think it's just all about having that connection. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you know, instead of like lifting weights, that's more of a isolation kind of thing, right? But I was looking for something different where I could do combined fitness and have that sense of community. Because I don't know about you, but when I was deep in the crutches of my addiction, I was just, you know, isolated. I cut everyone off. I was so afraid of spreading this toxic energy that, you know, and I just bottled it up. And then I had to bend a knee eventually. So
for me, I didn't want, it wasn't necessarily the toxic energy that I wanted to spread. I was ashamed. And I isolated to hide from my mother, to hide from people that wanted my, truly, I felt they didn't want my interest, my best interest at the time, because I thought everything's everyone else's fault but mine. I don't know how to describe this other than what I'm saying now. Hard to put into words until you live it. But I wanted to hide from my mom because all mom wanted was me to get clean. So you run from the people who say the same things, get clean, do this, do that. That's why when I get a phone call, and I'll leave names unnamed, but in my family, I don't just have a brother who's an addict. I've got family members, right? Derek, will you call? Will you talk to so-and-so? Sure thing. Will you tell them they need to? No, I won't. I'm not going to go like that. What do you mean? They need to find out. No, listen, I want them to want to call me. Because if I come at them sideways and they feel threat, they're not going to want to open up to me. You see, they need to hear some dirt that I've done to relate to me, to understand that they can tell me anything and it's not going right back to the source of anger, because there's a reason you called me to call them. You're upset at them. Now you want me to channel that energy of hate and anger or whatever onto them, and it ain't going to work because we already are self-destructing as addicts. So,
right.
You know, anyway, dude, I appreciate you calling me, man. And so what are you going to do being 2 days now in your mind? What are you thinking about doing? Because everybody's different, but what are you going to try and do differently?
Man, that's hard. So I thought I had it figured out, to be honest, but then, you know, I got humbled again, given this situation we're in, right? With my vices and traps I've set in place, without it, I went back to where I was. So, you know, I was kind of thinking about what you were saying. I think I'm just going to try to engage in, you know, for one thing, I didn't try to engage in the community via Discord, so I might try that out. And, you know, just consistently checking myself and being honest, like, hey, is my mind going that way, and kind of stopping myself. And then instead of using that, you know, that thought of trying to relapse again, I'm just going to try to do something more positive for myself. I'm still figuring it out. It might be video games, might be Discord, something with other people, I think is what I'm thinking.
I know last time it was on a beach. Are you withdrawing right now?
Not really. Like, it's not as bad physically. It was only a 2-week bender.
Okay.
But you know, it was very quick. I was puking and stuff like that. Intense anxiety. But it's only day 2. I'm feeling anxious, which I haven't felt for a long time. So that it's a lot more mental this time. But it's like I'm dipping my feet in the water, and I'm just like, oh shit, hell no, am I going through that again? Because I know that feeling. So I think that's why I'm kind of anxious too, because I am scared out of my mind. I'm like, oh my goodness, to go through that again? I can't do it. Like, there's no freaking way I could do that. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just, I can't even put into words. And that just terrifies me, because like, it terrifies me that this person is still inside me. And, you know, I thought I accepted it, and I thought I almost like killed this person of me, this persona. But, you know, it's a shadow. It's always going to follow me. You know what I mean? So I just gotta figure out a way to put some light and, you know, let it go away, and just like, you know, put it down when it needs to. Don't feed the bad wolf. That's all it is. So
there's always 2 wolves. As long as we're alive, the 2 wolves will always be there, bro. And you know that lion analogy I use?
Yeah, I love that analogy.
You know, Dude, that's another thing. Don't worry that there are two wolves. They're always going to be there, man. You know, you need to have someone that you know might can kick the bad wolf's ass, and you may not alone be able to. That's why we need other people. Yeah. And someone might need to call you and say, Teddy, I need you to kick this wolf's ass for me because I can't do it alone, bro. And that's how we as humans make it, in my opinion. You know, the lone wolf does not make it. The lone wolf doesn't make it. You know, it takes the whole pack to survive. And so we as a social creature need to stay connected. And that's all, it comes down to that, bro. I try to pour my heart, and I wish I could like give everything, you know, like everybody download this thing that Derek's going to give me. Oh crap. All right, I'm good. I wish I could give that. I wish there was a way. And for some people, they have downloaded that in a way, you know what I mean? And for others, it's planted a seed. And that's all we want to do is try to help other people, because that's how we help ourselves. So Teddy, get locked into something that can help you feel purpose, because you'll feel empty if you don't have a purpose. And that purpose is probably another human that needs your help or something. And it may not be recovery related. There might be an old lady who can't get out to her car or check her mail through the day. Anything that gives you purpose and can help another person, I can guarantee you will help yourself, man. It's a mirror. If you want to clean your face, wash the mirror and you'll find out that your face is clean. Okay. It's a weird freaking, I'm getting all weird Eastern, like this is
it's dope, man. It's dope. I love your analogies and metaphors, man. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, you can reach out to me. You got my number. You can message me on anything, get on the Discord, check it out. Go give them a shout out. Say I was on the recent live and 2 days and you know, what's up?
Yeah. All right. Cool. I'm gonna log out, but God bless everyone. Stay safe and keep doing what you're doing, man. Saving lives. It's really cool.
Thanks, Teddy. Thanks. Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
Thanks, bro. Guys, that's Teddy, man. He reached out to me a while back. He shared a story with me, and I just being there for him. It gives me purpose. So this right here gives me purpose. It makes me feel like accomplishment, you know, and you can too. You being in the chat room, like, you're part of making me feel better. And I hope this makes you feel better. And that this cyclical thing keeps happening. Almost like when I pull up to Starbucks, and this hasn't happened since I've lived here in Washington. I don't know if it's Southern hospitality or what. I pull up to Starbucks and someone paid for my coffee in front of me. And then I get up and I find out the bill behind me. I pay for that, and they pay for that, and they pay for that. Now, I will admit human tendency. Sometimes I'll be like, dude, my bill was cheaper than the guy behind me. But I do it anyways, just to keep the cycle going because it's fun. And that's just something I do. Tandra says, my purpose was gym, and this quarantine took it. Good job, Teddy. You're not alone. You guys, there are other ways to survive in this. And she is surviving, she said. Thank you for commenting from the Facebook side, guys. I know it's not as big as the YouTube, but I really appreciate those who've stuck around this long. And I plan on doing this more. So try and build up the courage to come join me live when we do this video again. And if you're struggling, you're going through it, and you need help, message me. I've got options, okay? There are ways. I have resources. And if I don't, I know people who do. And so I just want you to know you're not alone. That's the number one thing. That's what we're doing here now. And I'm thankful to those who've used StreamYard before me, Real Talk Recovery, Richie Weber, and people who've used this, because I didn't know how to bring you guys on for so long, or I would have been doing this. I was trying to do it with OBS and it didn't work out. I didn't know how to. So Sherry says, wow, 14 days is amazing. The longest I've gone was 1 week. And you guys go to the Discord. I don't have the Discord link here, but in my other videos, it's down in the description. I love you guys, and I'm going to get off here, go eat me some lunch, go probably, I don't know if I want to read a book or pack some clothes, whatever. I gotta get some packing done. I'm not in a super hurry with everything that's going on, but you guys feel free to message me on Messenger if you need help. Treatment is still available for people who need to go to rehab. That is something that you can have. And with that being said, feed the good wolf, stay away from the bad wolf, and get other people to kick its ass if you can't. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in.